Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm sorry that I didn't post a lot here recent, but I've been a little bit busy, and due to COVID and everything else, it's not been that easy. Anyway, today I'm going to take you out on a little bit of a tour. I found this little nice museum which is open at the moment, and they have a lot of airplanes, as you can see. They're old warbirds and drones, early models and whatever. So I thought, let's go ahead and explore this area and see what it is. So if you haven't done it before, you might as well like and subscribe, and maybe hit the notification bell so you get a notification whenever I make a new one. And then we'll see where this takes us this year. Anyway, let's go and have a look at all these really nice helicopters and things from the past. Well, here we're outside as well. This is actually a shell of Concorde. Looks really nice, and this is how they tested the fatigue on this. This is actually shell, or actually fuselage number 006. And that's the one that's in here now. So you can see how it's made and also how it's actually constructed. It looks quite nice. Very small windows there, but that's the original fuselage with the wings coming out. So here it is, the Jaguar XW566. Nice little machinery with ground power here as well. So let's go ahead and see some of these. Let's go ahead and check out some cockpits and see what's inside of them. I'm standing here next to a Trident old aircraft. It's actually on the front, but it should be like the same as this inside. The Trident was actually also involved in a few accidents, but it was a beautiful airplane though, and that's also one of the reasons why we got flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorders nowadays. But this is how the cockpit looks like from back in the days. A lot of gizmos and a lot of dials, but it's actually a very, very nice cockpit from those days as well. Looks nice and definitely worth to come over and have a look at if you're into aviation and like those.
500 radio.
Below 500 feet now. Radio altimeters, bouncing signals from aircraft to ground and back, are providing a very accurate reading of the height of the aircraft's main wheels above ground.
Alpha India, Scotoman. Alpha India.
At 300 feet, the captain checks the autopilot display. No warning lights, all systems functioning, okay for autoland. At 50 feet, signals from the radio altimeters start the flare out for landing.
50 above.
Automatically, the control column moves back, the throttles close. The aircraft touches down. But automatic guidance doesn't end here. On the far end of the runway, the localizer beam continues to steer the TriStar, keeping it straight on the center line, with signals through the autopilot to the rudder system and the steerable nose wheel. As the aircraft begins to slow down, the captain applies the brakes. The ground run monitor tells him on the bottom of the instrument the distance in meters to the end of the runway, which he wouldn't see in fog. And on the top is decreasing speed. Should the autopilot fail during the landing run, the captain can take over the manual steering and keep the aircraft straight with the help of the paravisual director. The paravisual director, a sort of miniature striped barber's pole, is also controlled by the localizer beam. By following the rolling bars, he can hold the aircraft on the center line while decelerating to a safe taxiing speed.
A lot of things happen in aviation over the last many years, at least 30, 40, 50 years, but look at this. Very, very old instruments. They actually did fly with these things. And an old propeller from a seaplane up there as well. It's actually kind of interesting to walk around this museum. Over here, the first EVS camera thermals, one of them. Today they look a lot different. The flares are also on the new airplanes nowadays, and this is one of the early models. So we went a bit further ahead and went into the museum. Here's the Concorde. It's actually a paper tiger, but it has been used for training as well. You can see here how the whole thing was set up, but this is a Concorde cockpit with all the bells and whistles, dials and gizmos on the wall. There you go. Have a look at that. It's a simulator today, but it's still fun to see. This is the picture of the Concorde Mach 2. Pretty cool. Shockwaves. We made it down to the wind tunnel models, and it's actually kind of interesting. This is old as well. This is an old W-wing model with other wind tunnels up there as well. It's a Harrier GR5 wind tunnel model, and this is the original one. It's way back then. It's sharp. You see it's metal, and there are more wind tunnel models over here going all the way back to the 50s. Actually, you got one here that's back from the 50s, really nice as well. Delta wing research model, and an M-wing model over here, very strong built. Never really saw that much out there flying, but that's also from the late 1950s, designed to Mach 1.5 actually. And there are more wind tunnel models down here, modern ones. And over here as well, we got a few as well. Here's the Diamond Wing wind tunnel model. That's from the 1990s, fully metal and ready as well. And the wind tunnel itself is actually right here. If you look carefully up here on the back, there is an old model in wood, and this is a almost 100% model that actually fit into this wind tunnel that they made the measurements on. So here's actually a demonstration of a wing or an airfoil that's put in. You can see it can go up and down here. That can go in. You can measure the speed on it as well. Plus you got the wooden strings over here as well, like you have on a sailboat. Same thing. The wind comes from this direction, goes over the wing, makes Bernoulli's principle, and it's sucked in over here again. And then you should end up with these forces on the airplane. Anyhow, what happens here, if you look carefully on this model, there are actually some small holes, one there, one here, and one in the front. One here, one here, one here. And actually what it does, it's going to be a negative pressure up here. And if you see these small tubes that are located right here, they're all going to be filled up with blue fluid that comes through this machine over here, because right there you can see there's a picture or a model of the airfoil that we're testing over here. And by seeing how the pressure is going to be distributed out through the airfoil, you will see these blue colors being sucked up, and also how much they're going to be sucked up to where they are. Anyway, this is how they did it, and there are more up here, as you can see, wind models, which is great. It's awesome, and that's all there is to it. How are you doing? Mark, do you think we should tie it to the ground? Is that okay?
Right. Have you flown? Do you fly?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You do, right.
Yeah, I haven't flown for a while, but yeah.
So you got a stick. The throttle is that little flap on the base of the silver base there.
That's it.
That one there. Yeah. So as you'd expect, forward to go forward, back to slow down. Okay. Right. It's just the stick that runs. Okay. The gear is already down, and you may have. Do you recognise the approach to Heathrow?
Is it, well, I've got to say it looks like 27 left, is it?
I would think.
Right, that's putting pressure on me now.
Just roll it.
On finals?
Yeah, give it a bit of power, then roll it. Push forward. There you go. And there you are.
Well, where's the runway?
Right there.
Wait, I didn't see that. I've lost the bloody runway now.
Runway? Really?
Oh, look, I can see my runway.
So Mark, we have a thumbs up?
Enjoying that flight.
What's up? So guys, over the years, a lot of pilots been killed, and also test pilots and so forth. Actually, this board right here is actually all the pilots who bailed out of airplanes over the years, and that also had a successful bailout. So all the way from back 1927 and then all the way up to 1982. So a lot of people on here They call the RAE caterpillars because they all come out in silk and spread out low altitudes and no altitudes and everything. So here is the ejection seats, you see, or at least one of them. And here's some of the equipment as well. It's actually quite amazing. But what a place to come in and see. So here we are looking up at the end, actually the exhaust area of a BR715 engine from Rolls-Royce. Let's have a look up the side of this thing. Here we go. We got the turbine section right here. Combustion chambers. The high pressure compressors. And then the front. So we're out here in the wild. It's actually kind of cool. It's been a great day actually with all these airplanes all over the place. Mark's enjoying it too. Having a blast. Now we're gonna have a look at some airplanes down here as well.